Okay, I'm going to do a quick review for grade 4, the Module 3 review sheet. So, we're going to start with the first question, where we have here a football team scored a total of 365 points for the season. This was 5 times the number of points scored in the first game. How many points were scored during the first game? So we see the 365 points was the total amount of points for the entire season, and that is going to be more than the amount of points scored in the first game. And the problem says that the 365 was 5 times as much as the number of points scored in the first game. So I'm going to do division here. Okay, I'm going to take that 365 points and I'm going to divide it by 5. Okay. Oh, 300, oh, I flip-flopped those numbers. 365. Okay, divided by 5. So I'm going to rewrite that inside the division house, 365. Now I'm going to do my division. I'm going to do long division here, and I'm going to start by saying, I'm going to write divide, multiply, subtract, bring down on the side as a visual checklist. Even at this point, if I don't need to put the checks for each step, I'm just looking at it as a visual to remind me what step I'm on and what step is next. So I'm going to say 5 is my divisor. That's going to go into the 3. How many times can 5 go into 3 or into 3 hundreds? Well, it can't. I can't split up the 3 hundreds into 5 groups. So I'm going to put a little placeholder there, put my X. Now I'm going to move into how many times can 5 go into 36? Okay, the 36 hundreds. So 5 can go into 36, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, which would be 7 times. So I've divided. I'm going to multiply. I'm starting up top with that 7. It went into it 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. So I multiplied. I'm going to subtract. 36 minus 35 is 1. Now I'm going to bring down if I have another digit in my dividend, which I do, which is 5. Now, this is what is still confusing some of us. That 15 is my new dividend. That's where I'm going to restart the steps, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. And I start by saying 15 divided by 5, or 5 can go into 15 how many times? 3 times without going over. I divided. I'm going to multiply starting with that 3. The 3 that I just wrote up in the quotient times 5 is 15. I multiplied. I'm going to subtract. I have 0. I can't bring down anything, so I am done. So my quotient is 73. How many points were scored in the first game? 73. Write out your units. 73 points. All right, so if you need to pause it, go over your work, see where you made a mistake, you could do that right now. All right, so now I'm going to clear the screen, go to number 2. A teacher put 43 markers on the 2 tables in her room. He gave out the greatest number of markers possible so that each table had the same number of markers. How many markers were left over? So we're looking for here how many markers were left over. And when we say what's left over, that's our remainder. So the remainder is our answer here. So we are going to have to divide because I'm giving out the markers. I'm sharing them, okay? I'm giving the same number of markers to each person. Those are all key words that let us know we're dividing. But when I find my answer, when I find the quotient, obviously there's going to be a remainder here, or there should be a remainder. The remainder is your answer because we want to know how many markers were left over. So I'm going to do 43 divided by 2. Right? I'm going to set this up long division again. 2 is my divisor, 43 is my dividend. Put my checklist on the side. Now, 2 goes into 4. How many times without going over? Well, it actually goes into it 2 times evenly. Divide. Now multiply that 2 I just put in my quotient times the divisor. So 2 times 2 is 4. I multiplied. Let me subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. I have another digit to bring down in our dividend. Is 3. Start over. 2 goes into that 3. How many times without going over? 1 time. Divide. Multiply that 1 times the 2. Subtract 3 minus 2 is 1. I have nothing left to bring down, so that is my answer, 21, remainder 1. But the question asked, how many markers were left over? There was 1 marker left over. Each table got 21 markers, but the question wanted how many were left over. So your answer is 1. So don't put as your answer 21, remainder 1, because you shouldn't get full credit there, because that's not how many markers were left over. All right? You could pause it here, rewatch that if you need to, but I'm going to go on to the next question, which is number 3. Write the multiples of 8. Think jot multiples. Multiples is your multiplication table. You're counting by the number when you're finding the multiples. So here's 8. We know 8's not the friendliest of numbers, but we have been working on this for so long that if you were having trouble with the 8 times table, you should have been practicing that by now. But you'll see each blank space over here, you're going to put a multiple. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, you are going to start with 8, okay? So the 8 is going to go down. I know sometimes we think it already listed 8, but 8 is the first multiple. And I'm going to go here, 8, let's see, so it's 8, 16, so 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 63, let's see, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, oh, you see now, look, I went over it, and I knew something was wrong, it's 64. I had to sing the song aloud, it's 64, and then 72. So let me see, so 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. So we'll go 80 up top. My singing is horrendous. 8, 16, 24, 32, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 40, 48, 48, 56, and I think 64. I think they wanted the first 8 multiples of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there you go. There's your first 8 multiples of 8. You just skip counting by 8, and there you go. Okay? I'm going to move on to the second page, number 4. Write 2 factor pairs for the number 20. Hint, make a factor rainbow. So here, they just want 2 factor pairs. This is a gift because every number, so if I'm going to start here 20, every number we said has an automatic factor pair. There are two factors which should be automatic. So you should be saying 1 and itself. So the beginning of your factor rainbow is going to always be 1, and the end of your factor rainbow is always going to be whatever number you're working with. So there's your first factor pair. We just needed 1 more because we wanted 2. The next question in my head automatically is going to be, is the number I'm looking at an even number? If it's an even number, 2 is always going to be a factor of every single even number. So when I look at 20, 20 is an even number, so 2 is going to be a factor, and 2 times what gives you 20? 10. Okay? Now, those are 2-factor pairs, so it would be 1 times 20, 2 times 10, all right? But there is also another factor pair in here. I can't do 3 times anything to get 20, but 4 times 5. So, could be 4 times 5. That's 3-factor pairs. You only needed 2. Okay? So, in blue, 1 and 20 is a factor pair. In green, 2 and 10 is a factor pair. And in orange, 4 and 5 is a factor pair. Okay, that is number 4. Okay, now, let's look at number 5. Mr. Soto's bicycle weighs 10 pounds. Mr. Soto's car weighs 90 times as much as his bicycle. What is the weight in pounds of Mr. Soto's car? So, I'm annotating on the sign. I'm going to go bike. The bike weighs 10 pounds. We know that. It says it. 10 pounds. The car, we don't know how much the car weighs. It weighs 90 times as much. So does the car weigh more than the bike? It does. So if the car weighs more than the bike, we know we're not dividing. We know we're multiplying because it says times as much. So I would have to do 10 times 90. Now what is 10 times 90? Now this is a doozy here because you have both numbers end in a 0 and your basic fact is 1 times 9. So 1 times 9 is 9, and now add the 2 zeros to the end. Do not get the answer of 90 and do 10 times 90 is 90. That's wrong. It's 900 pounds. So here you would write 10 times 90, or if you did 90 times 10 would be acceptable as well, equals 900 pounds. Okay. Number 6, let me clear this. The figure below shows the length and width of a field. What is the area of the field? Area. Area equals length times width. So length times width. Now we have here, we have the length, we have the width. I'm trying to find the area, so area equals, the length is 12, the width is 4. Well, 4 yards, okay? 4 yards, 12 yards, right? So what is the area? Well, what's 12 times 4? 12 times 4, you could do it over here if you don't know that basic fact. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 1 is 4. So it's 48, and I already told you, 48 square yards. So it is length, so 12 times 4 is 48 square yards. And that is number 6. Last question. The area of the rectangular sandbox at Dave's school is 48 square feet. If the sandbox has a width of 8 feet, as shown in the diagram, what is the length of the sandbox? So we're looking right here. 8 times what equals 48? Because we're doing length times width. Well, they gave us the width, which was 8. So length times width. Okay, or actually, we'll still go here. Area equals length times width. You can do width times length, but we often say length times width. So they started 8 times what? Because they said length, we don't know, times the width, which is 8, equals the area. So what times 8 equals 48? So 48. Well, what times 8? Or 8 times what gives me 48? Well, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, sorry for the bells. 8 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 times 6 equals 48 square feet. Okay, that is your review sheet. I'll go back to the main screen. Any questions? Go over this. Also, just to keep yourself fresh, make sure that you are familiar with how to multiply a 2 by 2 digit number. All right? You could look at one of my other videos for that.